January the 11th, 2018, and I want to go over some things this morning. I want to go over them kind of quick. We're in the middle of the storm. The storm's going on. Things are happening so fast that I can't keep up with them. I want to start by going over some posts from B. Now, B, if you're not familiar with her, B is an entity on Twitter, and it's B75434425. I really suggest that you go check it out if you're on Twitter and follow her. She posts things relevant to the storm. It will keep you educated enough to talk to people about what's going on so that they're aware. They're going to be swamped with it. And one thing you want to keep in mind is don't do it grudgingly. Do it with an open heart that we want these people to wake up and to understand that this is really for the best. This man's doing a great job. I love our president. And anyway, I'm going to start out with some of her posts. Here's one that she retweeted from the Justice Department. A Milwaukee man sentenced to 21 years for sex trafficking and forced labor. Another one from the Justice Department. The Texas mayor and owners of healthcare company were charged with healthcare fraud, money laundering, and obstruction. Here's just one of a meeting between Trump, Pence, and Nikki Haley at the White House, and Steve Mnuchin. Here's Sessions announced that Hezbollah financing narco-terror team. This happened during the Obama administration, and there was an investigation into Hezbollah and their drug trade, and it was somebody put some roadblocks up, and the investigation was halted. They're going to reopen some of those investigations. Here's another one from the Justice Department. Sinaloa cartel leader pleads guilty for involvement in the importation of tons of narcotics into the United States. So this president's doing more to stop the illicit drug trade in this country than anyone ever has. Here are some tweets from the president. The proven and paid for by Democrat dossier used to spy on the Trump campaign. Did the FBI use intel tools to influence the election? That's a good question, because I think they did. I know they did, but that's a good question. Did the Dems or the Clintons also pay Russia? Yes. Where are the hidden and smashed DNC servers? Well, I think they've got them. I think they've got them. Where are crooked Hillary emails? They've got those too. What a mess! Exclamation point. I love his style. Another one. In new Quinnipiac poll, 66% of the people feel the economy is excellent or good. That's the highest number ever recorded by this poll. And he's whipping the economy right into shape. House votes on controversial FISA Act today. This is the act that may have been used with the help of the discredited and phony dossier to so badly surveil and abuse the Trump campaign by the previous administration and others. And yes, it was, and they did. They faked up that dossier and they used it to spy on the Trump campaign. That doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that they used it for illicit purposes. 45-year low in illegal immigration this year. Another great news. With that being said, I personally direct the fix to the unmasking process since taking office, and today's vote is about foreign surveillance. of bad guys on foreign land. So we need it. Get smart. And yeah, we do need that surveillance. Here's one. Mattis spoke to the attaches from various countries during a town hall at the Canadian Embassy in Washington, D.C. Here's just a picture of a guided missile destroyer. And here's a picture of a soldier on maneuvers. Anti-Trump FBI agents busted leaking intel to the mainstream media. And they've got them. And I think that there are going to be some real consequences to that whole investigation. The failing NYT, New York Times, is getting something right today. The winds are a-changing. The New York Times forget about unseating Trump with the 25th Amendment. And that's right, forget about that, because he ain't crazy. He's crazy like a fox, is what he is. He's playing 4D chess with those guys, and they're running out of moves. They're running out of moves. Project Veritas exposes Twitter shadow banning and blocking opposition views. Now, that's going to be a problem for Twitter at some point. So they're blocking content with opposition views. And here's a good one. Feinstein admits she was mentally unstable when releasing the fusion documents. Well, yeah, she's an old lady. She's bound to be physically or mentally unstable. Walmart raises starting wage to $11, provides one-time bonuses. The economy's good. Companies have extra money and they're spreading it back to the people, and that's a good thing. Tim Allen's overwhelmed by fans pushing to bring back Last Man Standing. That's just something. And here's a little meme. When you have a cold, you take Encina and chicken noodle soup. When I have a cold, I release sensitive documents to the press. Here's a video from MSNBC. A never Trumper admits that Trump has done more for America than any previous administration. And I heard him say that. Here's just a Q post. How do you destroy a country from within? And yeah, by destroying the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. And that they've tried to do that. Shame Toby Young attended a secret eugenics conference. These are just all things that we should be following and we should be aware of. Trump administration to allow states to test Medicaid work recipients. And they ought to be tested. You know, if you have to be tested to work, you should be tested to get Medicaid. Medicaid's different than Medicare. Medicaid's something that's given to you. Here's a report on airplane crashes. 7 out of 10 crashes are what? 7 out of 10 crashes are not accidents. There are a lot more of them that happen that are not accidents than actually are. Here's just a copy of the president's schedule. Oh, here's a good one. Ecuador confirms that Julian Assange has become a citizen. And I've got a little deal on that coming up later in the show here. Never forget September 10th. When Donald Rumsfeld held a press conference to state that the Pentagon was missing more than $2.3 trillion with a T. And then the next day, the buildings fell. Shocking report reveals that the Pentagon and HUD lost $21 trillion, enough to pay back the national debt. That's crazy. That's crazy. Special report. FBI scrutinizes a funeral home with side business. I have not read that one, so I can't say anything about it. These are new. Those are new posts. That's a new post. Anyway, that was B on Twitter. And like I say, it's B75434425. I recommend following her. Then I've got a few more things I'd like to go through. Do you believe in coincidence? The deep state blackmailed NSA director Mike Rogers. The NSA was behind the CBTS, and NSA was forced to cut ties with CBTS. Q is fake. The new boards are CIA. There's a lot of problems going on back on the 8chan boards right now. Even though they've straightened it out for private dumping for Q, he hasn't dumped anything there. It's been days since he's put anything out. There's a lot of backbiting going on right now, and I've just backed off a little bit. I'm watching it, and I'm curious as to how that's going to turn out. But the storm is coming, or the storm is here actually, and we need to be united in this process. We need to keep ourselves educated. I want to be perfectly clear. Everything I'm about to tell you will fuck you up for weeks. Profanity alert. Sorry. Here's just a meme of Valerie Jarrett's power matrix. The seventh floor is no more Q. And that was a good post by him. Okay, now here's some stuff that B has just personally tweeted. However, if they choose not to surrender, then we will kill them with extreme prejudice, whether that be through security force assistance, by dropping bombs on them, by shooting them in the face, or beating them to death with our entrenched tools. Whoops, didn't mean to click on that. That was a senior Pentagon soldier warning ISIS either quit or be shot in the face or beaten with entrenched tools. There's a war against ISIS. Here are just some links to places that you should be aware of. And I'm going to make copies of all of these links and put them down below this video. Retiring Congress members, CEO and notable resignations, chairman convicted, NYPD shakeups, just things that you need to follow. So I will do that. There's just a funny. I like that one. How much money did the Chicago 2016 Olympic Committee raise? How much taxpayer money did the city spend on land? How much taxpayer money did the city spend on interest? And who gave them the loan? And where did all the money go? Those are some good questions. I'm sure somebody is looking into those as we speak. Another tweet by the president. They have two meanings, numbers and dates. Everything has a double meaning. Reread the breadcrumbs. Future proves past. It's not by the president. I misspoke there. It's by the Trump train. But yes, that whole set of posts by Q needs to be gone over with a fine-tooth comb. And here's some more talk about what's going on back there. Q posts on 4chan, Congress not returning. Q posts on 147434025. 70% are corrupt. Too many prosecutors will cut deals. 70% of the prosecutors are corrupt. Not returning to second term. 40 representatives will not seek re-election to their House districts. And here's the numbers as of this tweet. DNC 14, Republicans 26, plus 20 retiring. A lot more Republicans are being taken out in this than I first expected, but doggone, there's a lot of bad Republicans. There's just no doubt about it. Now, we talked about Q and the countdown and the clock and the way that worked. And here's B tweeted. 0 will be when Q and POTUS tweet at the same time. There's a gap between their tweets, and it narrows every time they tweet together. Or not tweet, but the president tweets and Q posts. And there's a difference in the time by 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. And 0 will be when they tweet at the same time. This was during the other night's game, so I don't think that it will be before then. But they do seem to like their night ops, though. So it's probably going to be at night, would be my guess. And I want to talk a little bit about that satellite we got in space in a second. Here's where the president signed the Interdict Act to help stop the flow of drugs into the country. Here's just a copy of the act. It provides U.S. Customs and Border Protection with enhanced chemical screening devices and scientific support to detect and intercept fentanyl and other synthetic opioids. Fentanyl is getting into the country through the mail, through the postal system, and they've got to get it stopped. When the dogs try to sniff that stuff, it kills them. It kills the dogs. So they can't use dogs to sniff it. They've got to have some other, and you can imagine, what it's doing to people that handle it through the postal system. It's dangerous. This is just a spoof on when the lights went out the other day at the electronics show. Everybody's seeing Qs everywhere for some odd reason. Here, immigration officials target 100 7-Eleven stores in what top officials call harboring of top officials call a harbinger of what's to come. There are a lot of illegal immigrants working in this country that shouldn't be. They're probably not paying their taxes. Wondering what happened to the money in Haiti? Question. Where did all the Haitian Red Cross money go? Well, probably not where you think. Your donation went to the Red Cross. Then it went to Synergos. Then it went to Bill Gates. Then it went to George Soros. Then it went to Waleed, whatever his name is, that got hung upside down. But hey, the people sure didn't get it. They sure didn't get it. So sad. DNC lawsuit update. After posting 2 separate judicial questions, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals has found jurisdiction sufficient for the case to proceed on appeal. So they're going after that. Here we are. This is Zuma. This is the satellite that was launched into space. And they will tell you that that satellite didn't make it into orbit, but there are tracking stations that have tracked that thing. They tracked one orbit, so it made it into orbit. Now they're not tracking it anymore, and they're not allowed to track it anymore. If anybody's going to track it, it's hidden under lock and key. But it, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, that satellite is still up there. And Q talked about owl a bunch of times. It says Q mentioned owl multiple times and happy hunting. And if you've read through his posts, you'll remember those tweets, those posts. An owl is an insane space-based weapon that was likely launched as a code name Zuma on SpaceX. OWL is an abbreviation for Orbiting Weapons Lancet. I remember when President Trump said non-nuclear. He said that several times, non-nuclear option. Well, it has a cartridge of multiple telephone pole-sized rods made out of tungsten. They're about 20 feet long and 1 inch wide. They're solid tungsten with no propulsion, aside from an initial discharge rocket. So they are popped away from that thing. And then they free fall from space. They use GPS-based guidance system to hit a target accurately. They're essentially a man-made meteor. The fall rate is approximately 36 km/foot per second. (36 km) FPS. That doesn't, I don't know. Pretty dang fast. And they hit with a force of 144,000 kilojoules. Correct me if I'm wrong. They go deep within the ground and plow through bunkers like no other traditional projectile. They are far more powerful than a MOAB, mother of all bombs, and other conventional large-size weaponry, and border somewhere between the devastation of a small nuke and a mother of all bomb without any radiation fallout. Extremely effective at taking out large areas, buildings, bunkers, etc., and allow for crews to go in safely and clean up the mess afterwards. Nicknames for these are Thor's hammer and rods of God and owls. So we've got a rocket up there with owls on it, or we've got an owl project up there as well. So you get nothing, you lose. Good day, sir. That's what we say to North Korea. And even if I only told you this much of what I know, you would shit yourself. I just like this. Freedom will never leave our shores as long as there are patriots willing to defend it. And I thank you guys for being patriots. And anyway, just a poster of people wanted for crimes against humanity. These are people that were listed on Trump's executive order, and some others. And then now, Julian Assange. Julian one time said, if wars can be started by lies, peace can be started by truth. And Julian, in my opinion, is a real patriot because he started this whole thing. If it weren't for WikiLeaks, we wouldn't be near where we are today, because WikiLeaks woke up a lot of people. And anyway, B tweeted about Julian. Julian's passport was issued on December the 21st. So he was issued an Ecuadorian passport. And it's reported on RT World News. So if you want to look that up, here is a copy of his ID with his ID number. Just FYI, if you want to stop the video and look at it. And here's a post. New Year's hint number 2. Julian Assange is safe. He's not where he appears to be, and he's a key player in justice. And anyway, that's today's news. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do, why, like my video, share it, and I will talk to you later. God bless. Have a good day.